Hi guys, 2 Cent Penny here, and I have another review for you. Well, it's not necessarily a review, more like, here's my thoughts on this. So, Girl on the Shore. Everyone has been talking about it, I feel like. So I finally decided to give it a shot, and I just finished it yesterday, so it's still somewhat fresh in my mind. I kind of like to do videos right after I read them, just so they're right in my head right away, but this time I waited, just kind of needed to soak it all in, to understand it a little better. So usually I do this unscripted, but I kind of made little bullet points, as you can see, on this nifty sheet of paper. So, also, my cats may jump on the desk like they did last time. I apologize in advance. Okay, so you have 2 main characters for the most part. Alright, so I'm probably gonna butcher names. I warn you every time. So, Kumi. I'm gonna go with Kumi. I know it's probably really wrong. And then Kisuku, but for the most part, they call him Isobi for the most part. So I'm gonna stick with that, and Kumi for the girl. They also call her Sato. Again, don't know if that's correct, but I'm going with Kumi and Isobi. Isobi's the male lead, Kumi is the female lead. Alright, so my initial thought on it is that it is very well written. You can see that the author took a lot of time crafting these characters and the story that goes with it. It's definitely not a plot-based kind of story. It's, I would say, very character-driven. So the events that happen aren't like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? It's more like, how is this character going to react to this? Or how is this character, going to grow from this experience? And I personally really enjoy books and novels, manga, TV shows of that nature. I know it's not for everyone, but for me, it's something I really enjoy. And I actually really enjoyed these characters, and I wanted to know what was going to happen to them and how they were going to react to certain things that happen. I'm going to keep this video pretty spoiler-free, although towards the end I'm going to talk about the ending, but I'll let you know. I'll be like, spoilers, and then you can stop. Or you can keep going if you want the whole thing ruined. It's up to you. I don't care. Okay, so there are a lot of sex scenes. Now, people have said this, and I was like, yeah, okay, a little bit of sex. That's not gonna bother me. Oh my god, this is like sex, and then like more sex. And then these people are like rabbits. They're just like going after it. And me in high school, like I had a boyfriend in high school, and I didn't have sex that much in high school. Like, not like that. Like, all the time. Constantly. Like, round 2, round 3, I'm fine. I am kind of impressed. But anyway, that's beside the point. I was just a little taken aback about how much there actually was. It's not off-putting, and it's not, I mean, for me, it's not off-putting. And I felt like it was pretty realistic because there are some pretty awkward moments where you're just kind of like, ew, because, they're young. They're fooling around. They're trying to discover something, whether it's, for themselves or one another and whatnot. One of my issues with the sex scenes was that it's kind of sometimes hard to distinguish what's happening. The scenes are drawn in certain ways, and there are times when I literally have to what is this? What is happening in this picture? So, that sometimes throws me off, but, for the most part, it's very well done. Also, I'm sorry, I like to talk with my hands, and I also have to sit kind of close to my camera, which is my phone, so I kind of want to, maybe I should sit back, I don't know. Alright, so, alright, I don't want to get too far into any spoilers right now, so I'm just kind of glancing at my piece of paper. Okay, well, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna be talking about spoilers here, so feel free to stop the video, or, you know, you can, you know, if you want it spoiled, you know, I'm going to start talking about spoilers right now. So, all right. The brother's curse. So, Asobi talks about his brother and how he committed suicide and that he's cursed. I really enjoyed that little aspect, but I feel like it wasn't, I don't want to say talked about enough, because it wasn't just about that little detail, but I just felt like it needed a little bit more, just so I can understand it a little better, because it's kind of ambiguous in a sense, and maybe if I reread it, I would understand more, and, you know, that's fine. Those types of books are fine, but I just would have liked a little bit more detail, or just a little more clarity maybe, just to help me understand the significance of, like, why Asobi has decided that his brother has cursed him. But I really liked the little story that went with it, and how it affected Asobi and his character and what he does later on. Excuse me. Again, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my little cheat sheet, so, oh, one of the parts that I really liked was when Asobi's on his blog. So he's typing his blog, which was his late brother's blog, but he has continued to keep it updated, and this guy, or female, I just kind of thought it was a guy, emails him and talks to him about, you know, like, what happened to your brother, you know, this is obviously not your blog, and, you know, Asobi just starts writing this very long response. All of his feelings are basically, like, poured out into this email, and then all of a sudden you just see him, zoop, and he just deletes it. He just completely deletes it and writes, like, a one sentence with LOL at the end. And I really like that. I know it's just, like, this small little detail, but it felt so impactful for his character and just the way he goes about things. I loved it. Absolutely love that part. And I think there's a lot of subtext in A Girl on the Shore, and you have to kind of read it carefully. And now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, it's definitely the type of book that you want to read again, just so you can catch these little details here and there. I also really love the scene, I think it was a tsunami or some sort of huge storm was coming their way during a specific festival, and I loved how Kumi, she went in search of Asobi, you know, thinking that he was going to kill himself, and she goes off, and for a second I totally thought that she was going to die, and that Asobi was just, you know, like, chilling somewhere, and then she was just going to die in the same manner that his brother did. Because I believe, unless I completely misread this, his brother dies from a storm, or like a tidal wave takes him down, but it was also considered suicide because there was a letter or email or something of that nature left behind, and I believe Asobi deleted it or got rid of it. But again, I might have it confused. If so, just, you know, let me know. I may have misinterpreted something. But I really liked that towards the end, Kumi's character, you know, she had said that she didn't care if Asobi died, and then she goes and, you know, is searching for him and is trying to get involved in the things that he likes, even though, you know, she used to be this, like, I don't care, it's whatever, you're just there kind of person. And towards the end, she's I don't necessarily, like, she likes him, she's trying to be better, and that change in her is just, it's not sudden, it's this gradual thing, and I love it. But at the same time, Asobi's pushing her away. And I at first wasn't sure why, because you get the sense that's what he wants. He wants to have her. But perhaps it's just due to the fact that they were, the things that they have done, and the history they've already established, that they could never really be what he intended them to be, if that makes sense. That it almost like his chance had passed due to the things that they have already done with one another. There was, like, no hope almost. But that's kind of how I interpreted it. I mean, it could be something completely different. I don't know. And then, so the ending in general, I absolutely loved it. It wasn't this like happy campy, everyone get together at the end. It's sad, but has like an uplifting, you know, like new paths, new destinations, you know. I like that. New beginnings, basically. But there are fresh wounds, you know, within the story, you know, because I don't think they'll get together, and some people would root for them to get together, but they don't. I don't know. The ending, I really, really loved it. I also think it's a little ambiguous. I was curious about the couple that is there on the beach. You don't see their faces. At first, I actually thought, because Kumi lost her SD card in the beach sometime, and then there was that couple, and that couple looked a lot like Kumi and Usobi in the beginning. So I was like, is this like a time warp? Is this a memory? Is it like of the past repeating itself? Like, I was a little confused at first. Now I just kind of think it was either a random couple just there, and you're kind of just seeing the beginning stage of like their relationship, or it was Asobi and like maybe his new girlfriend or someone else that he's seeing. But like I said, you don't really know. And then there's a moment where you see this random couple, the random couple kissing. And at first, when I was like reading it, I thought it was Komi and Kashima. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but he was I believe the baseball player that got injured and had a falling out with Asobi. But at first I thought they were kissing, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then I like reread it, and I was like, oh, it's not them. So, I mean, maybe I was just reading it so fast because I was just like, what's gonna happen, that I kind of missed it. But for me, at first, it was a little confusing. I'm curious to see what happens to Asobi, because the little part that it leaves off with the cops wanting to talk to him, and then you don't really see him anymore, unless that couple was him, but you don't really know. So I personally would have liked to have seen a little bit more closure to Asobi's story, or to see kind of what he's going, but it wasn't necessarily necessary. It's just maybe because I'm a fan, I want to know, and I liked his character. So I just kind of want to know for my own selfish reasons and whatnot. But what I like about Kyomi and Asobi and the relationship and how they eventually fell apart and broke off, I liked the fact that I felt like Asobi pushed her away because that's what she needed. That she needed a fresh start, and that their experience would make her almost like a better person, because she's going to try to be kinder. She's going to... You see my cats? Yep. They're just running around, causing mayhem. Hopefully they don't knock anything over. But anyway, so that's what I liked. I got the impression that Asobi did what he did to better Kumi. And perhaps he still had feelings for her, still loved her in his own way, but he felt like this was the best thing to do. And perhaps the best thing for both of them was to move on and learn from their experience together. So I really loved it. I loved the characters. I loved I could talk about this for a long time, and it's already, 13 minutes into it, and I don't want to get this like overly drawn out, but I recommend this manga. I absolutely loved it. However, it is slow. It's a slow burning one, character driven, so you're not going to get like those massive plots and whatnot. Lots of sex, so like if you are squeamish about that, maybe you won't like it due to that fact. I liked the darkness and the heaviness that came with it. I like things of that nature, and it really, while I didn't like cry, I was very invested into these characters, and it was amazing, and I would recommend this to a lot of people. But like I said, it is a dark kind of manga. It is a darker manga, and it's slow building. So if you can handle that, I really recommend it. And I would love to know what you guys thought of this. If you've read it, I'd love to know what you felt about the ending. Again, I know there's spoilers, so if you can somehow either, maybe message me, it might be easier. Otherwise, you could, I know I had a couple people about orange, they would type something that wasn't spoilers, and then they would tab down, 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 and then put spoilers, and then, you know, if you clicked it, you could see it. So you could, I mean, do that in the comments, but don't spoil it for anyone else, because Lord knows we hate it when we get spoiled for things that we want to read, right? It just ruins, well, for me, it like ruins everything. But anyway, thank you for bearing with me, and I'll see you next time.